So what if one of these companies like Hilti will take one of your guys
Yes.
that failed the Matua twice? Then would they go to a special school here in Vaduz?
No.
They'd have to go somewhere else.
All the vocational trainings,
Right.
the practical thing is done
Would
here.
be done here. Then they'd have to drive to or find a way to get to one of these other schools.
For example, there is one in Bux, just over the river. We have the Rhine is
Yes.
in Liechtenstein, and there is a big school, and they offer a vocational training in Bux, and so they have to Bux or St. Gallen.
And what type of programs do they offer at this school? Just give me an idea.
It's for example, all those students from the Realschule,
Right.
they have to go either to Bux
Okay.
or to St. Gallen, which
Okay.
is not far away in Switzerland.
Right.
And there they have special schools where they prepare the students or the children for these vocational.
And can you give me 5 different things they might prepare them for? Just
I mean, if somebody wants to become
auto mechanic,
auto mechanic,
metals,
for example,
CNC machines, stuff like that.
they go there.
They would learn it there.
The technical thing
Right. And they
happens
would.
at the school, and the practical thing happens here in Liechtenstein, in Hilti, for example.
And how often would they go to the school? Once or twice a week, or
I think 2 days practical work in
here?
in Hilti, for example,
Right.
and 3 days
3 days there?
in the school. Yes.
So, is there public transportation to get there?
Yes.
Okay, so there's lots of accessible transportation.
No problem. Trains, buses.
And since all these countries are so close together, it's almost in your neighborhood.
I mean, so
Yeah.
it's 10 minutes from here.
10 minutes to the Switzerland border and to the Austria border is what, another
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so really easy, like a drive around San Diego.
That's it.
Okay, so these are the options, and even the kids at the lower level, they could go to schools too and learn a trade,
Oh, yes.
and this is quite common.
I think what is really great about the system is that they all can learn
Right.
something.
Okay,
They all.
now here's a big question. If I explained to you a minute ago about the U.S. system, all kids are going to go to the college, and if you don't work hard enough, you just need to try harder. So the kids leave with no skills. Other than the kids are going to go to university, the other ones really graduate with nothing, what I call a degree in worthlessness. If they had that system here, what would you think about that? And do you think kids would drop out? Because especially like over here, kids would drop out because they'd have no opportunity. What's your take on this type of system?
It's a bit difficult to imagine the system because for me it wouldn't work. I mean,
Right.
I cannot imagine how.
Not preparing kids for something to go out in the real world.
I think it's one of the most important jobs of a country,
Right.
to help the young. I mean, the children, the kids, the students to develop,
Right.
to learn, and they have. I think it's our job to offer them opportunities, not to take away opportunities. And I think that's what we try to do here. That each student or each child should get an opportunity, not on the same levels. I mean, some are maybe have more talents or other talents than other students. Not. I don't want to say that somebody's better than the other one, but I think we have to try to find solutions for each.
Okay,
child.
one other thing. The only criticism I've heard at your system, and this was from the 2 other principals that I've met, was that they believed that instead of choosing at the end of grade 5, that you might do it at grade 8 or 9 in a comprehensive setting, and then differentiate into these different schools. What's your take on that? Would you agree with that, or you think this is a fair system the way it's set up right now?
We have been talking about
These type of things in your government.
Yes. For many years, and then we decided to have it the way it is.
The way it is.
And I think for us it's working. And
for your level.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think it's working very well, because the students that we have, they go on to university.
Yeah.
Either to Zurich, to the ETH. I mean, which is a top university, and they do well there. And so I think that means for us, I think the system works well, we prepare them well, they can do well at universities, and they get a job afterwards.
Okay,
And I think
that's for your kids. What about the kids on the school next to you in the Hauptschule, or what are they, the lower performing?
Yeah.
What do you think? Would it help them to be in a comprehensive system, or is it too early to call the shot at 5th grade and say this is the track you're going to be on?
I think it's a bit difficult to say. When we look at different countries in the area here,
Yes.
Germany, Switzerland, Austria,
They're all doing this model, basically, right? Something like this?
no,
No.
they all have different models. So Switzerland it's depending on the canton. I mean, if you live in Zurich, you have one model. If you live in St. Gallen, you have another model.
Right.
In Austria, it's the same. If you live in Vorarlberg, you have this model, and then in Tyrol, another one.
Okay.
In Germany, if you live in Bayern, in Bavaria,
It's different than in Duisburg.
for example, then Bavaria, they have the same model as we have.
Right.
So
But they're
that's why
they're
it's a bit difficult to say what is the best model.
right. But they're all in Germany. They choose after grade 4, right?
Yeah, even a year earlier.
Year earlier.
Yeah.
And I found that in Duisburg and Bavaria
Yeah.
when I was there. And then they go to the different. They differentiate from there. So
We somehow came to the conclusion that the system itself is not that important. Reading books, I found out that the teacher is the most
this
important,
is the most important.
and not the system. I think the system is not that decisive.
Okay, so let's go to that next. Most of your teachers have master's degrees.
All.
All. That's a requisite to be a teacher here in Liechtenstein.
They have to.
Okay, so they have to have a bachelor's and a master's, and most of them came from the gymnasium,
Yes.
which is the top kids anyways.
Yes.
So you're really getting some of your top kids from the system. Whereas in the United States, the majority of teachers come from the bottom 1/3 of a university academically. So also, would you say that a teacher is a respected profession here?
It still is. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it still is. Yeah.
And there's kids that want to do this.
It's slowly, unfortunately, it is a bit changing. I think it's now, when I look back to the last 2 years, I find it more and more difficult to find new, teachers.
Why? Why do you think that is? I know
That's a good question.
do a fair amount of your teachers come from Austria, right?
Austria, Switzerland, and Germany.
Right.
Yeah, and of course Liechtenstein, but we don't have enough people here.
So why do you, if you pay pretty well, right?
Yes.
Respectable pay.
Yes.
What's a starting teacher make? How many euros?
At the gymnasium,
Yeah.
I would say about 70,000 euros.
70,000 euros.
Okay, 65.
That's starting.
Yes.
And what about one that's had 10 or 15 years of experience? How much would they make about?
I have to go back. Sorry, I have to calculate. Can I go back?
Yeah.
Is it okay? I have to look at seems to me 60, because we have Swiss francs here. So
Sure. Okay, in Swiss francs. 1 franc's equal to $1, basically.
Yes.
Yes. So that's very easy calculation.
Yeah,
Very
it's
easy.
I would say 80,000.
80,000 francs to start,
To start to 120 probably.
to up to $120,000,
Yeah.
which is pretty good money.
I think it is.
It is.
Yeah.
And to teach how many lessons a week?
It depends on the grade.
On average? 25, 30?
From 22 to 28.
28, depending on the grade.
So
The higher the grade, the less they teach.
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they pay more here at the gymnasium than they would at the Mittelschule or the Realschule.